Have you ever wondered why some elderly people look peaceful, wise, and respected, while others feel lonely, misunderstood, and burdened? The truth is, the quality of our old age doesn't depend only on money, health, or family. It also depends on what we share and what we keep private throughout life. And today, I want to share something that can protect your happiness in old age. Never share these 8 things, not because we are selfish, but because privacy protects dignity and wisdom protects peace. My dear friends, life shows us many seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And every human being grows through these seasons: childhood, youth, adulthood, and finally old age. The tragedy is, many people live their younger years without wisdom. And when old age arrives, they say, "I wish I knew this earlier." So today, I don't want you to wait for regret. I want you to live with wisdom right now so that your old age becomes peaceful, respectful, and dignified. Because you see, old age is not the end of life. It is the harvest of everything you planted in youth. If you planted love, you will harvest love. If you planted gratitude, you will harvest happiness. And if you planted wisdom, you will harvest peace. But there are 8 things, my friends, that if you keep sharing publicly or with the wrong people, you will invite pain, drama, disrespect, and disappointment, especially when you grow older. And today, I'm going to guide you through these 8 things, so you never allow them to harm your peace. When we speak about not sharing our family problems with everyone, we are not saying pretend everything is perfect or hide your struggles forever. The heart of the lesson is wisdom. Because sharing your family problems with the wrong people does not solve them, it multiplies them. Many people don't understand that every person who listens to you does not necessarily care for you. Some listen to judge, some listen to gossip, some listen to compare, and very few listen to help. When we openly expose our internal matters to outsiders, we think we are unburdening ourselves, but actually we are handing over our peace, our respect, and even our relationships into the hands of people who neither value them nor understand them. It's like opening the doors of your home to a storm and expecting the wind to clean your house. Storms do not clean, they destroy. I have seen people who are frustrated with their spouse, their children, their siblings, and instead of solving the issues within the family, they take the argument outside. They tell their neighbor, their colleague, their relatives, even strangers online. And what happens? First, the listener judges. Second, they exaggerate or misinterpret. Third, the matter spreads. We must understand that words do not evaporate after being spoken, they travel. And sometimes what we speak in weakness travels so far that it returns to us as embarrassment. We may forget that we said it, but people do not forget when they hear something spicy, dramatic, or emotional. The world loves gossip more than truth, and nothing travels quicker than family drama. Imagine a person who is frustrated at home, goes to a friend and says, "My husband never listens," or "My wife doesn't respect me," or "My children don't obey." Now the listener may smile, pretend empathy, but inside they might think, if they talk this way about their own family, what will they say about me behind my back? When we expose our loved ones publicly, we not only reduce their respect in the eyes of others, we reduce our own credibility too. The world does not respect someone who dishonors their own household. Another danger is that most people are incapable of giving wise guidance. When you are emotional, you need someone who can bring clarity, not confusion. But when you share with random listeners, they often add fuel to the fire. They might say, "Yes, you're right, they are wrong," just to flatter you, and then the ego grows. Or they may say, "You should teach them a lesson," and bitterness grows. Instead of healing, irritation increases. Instead of understanding, misunderstanding deepens. Instead of developing patience, anger becomes stronger. One wrong piece of advice from an unprepared listener can break what took years to build. A family is like a tree. Its roots are deep, its branches are wide, and its fruits are visible. The roots are hidden because that's where the nourishment happens. You don't show your roots to everyone, you protect them. Family problems are those hidden roots. They need care, patience, and proper soil. You don't dig the roots and show them to visitors. You handle them privately so the tree survives. There is also a dignity in silence. When something is not going right at home, when relationships feel heavy, there is wisdom in going inward first, asking yourself, is this really worth fighting about? Will it matter in 1 year? Is my ego exaggerating the issue? Am I seeing the other person's perspective? Many family matters get solved not by talking outside, but by reflecting inside. And if reflecting inside doesn't help, the next step is not exposing it to the world, but talking to the people involved. The solution lies inside the relationship, not outside. When you speak calmly, when you speak respectfully, sometimes the pain softens, and sometimes your silence says what 1,000 complaints cannot. And if even that doesn't bring clarity, then seek guidance, but from a wise person, not just any person. Someone who genuinely has the maturity to help, not the excitement to gossip. We must also remember that families are not perfect. They are learning environments. Just like schools have tests, families have challenges. Just like schools have exams, families have misunderstandings. Just like schools have teachers, families teach us patience, tolerance, kindness, forgiveness. When we understand this, we stop expecting perfection, and we start growing through our struggles rather than broadcasting them. Finally, the most important idea, privacy protects respect. When you keep your matters safe within the boundaries of your home, you protect the dignity of those you love. And when you protect their dignity, your own dignity rises. When you solve your problems privately, you preserve your relationships. And one day, when old age comes, you will not feel lonely, because you will have nurtured the very people who will stand beside you. In the end, peace comes to those who value wisdom more than attention, and wisdom begins with silence. When we talk about not sharing financial matters openly, we're not promoting secrecy in a negative way. We're promoting wisdom, protection, and emotional maturity. Money is among the most sensitive aspects of a person's life, and we must treat it with dignity, responsibility, and silence. You see, the moment finances leave the privacy of your heart and enter the ears of the world, something happens. Opinions multiply, judgments rise, misunderstandings form, and relationships begin to change. What should remain between you and those directly concerned suddenly becomes public property, and that can damage the peace you are trying to build. Most people do not realize that the world treats you differently based on what they think you have. If they think you have more money, they expect more from you. They may admire you on the surface, but inside there might be envy, insecurity, or competition. And if they think you have less, their attitude shifts as well. Some begin to pity you, some begin to ignore you, and some start offering advice you never asked for. When you reveal your financial matters, you unknowingly give the world the power to define how they see you, how they treat you, even how they speak to you. Financial privacy protects you from unnecessary judgment. There's another truth. People rarely respond neutrally to money. Their minds immediately jump into comparison. If they earn less than you, they may feel inferior. If they earn more, they may feel superior. One simple sentence about your finances can trigger emotions that you never intended. Human beings compare everything: clothes, houses, vacations, salaries, and comparison almost always leads to misery. Sharing your financial life, even casually, invites comparison, and comparison invites pain. Now think about this. When you talk openly about your money, whether it's how much you earn, how much you saved, or what investments you made, you expose yourself to expectations. People start seeing you as a resource. Some may approach you for loans, some for financial help, some for favors, and some for benefits. When you say no, they feel offended. When you say yes, you feel used. So what should have remained a peaceful private detail became a source of pressure and emotional burden. Money also changes the way people interpret your intentions. If they know you are financially comfortable, your kindness will not be seen as kindness. People will think, oh, they are helping because they can afford it. And if you are struggling, your effort might not be respected. They will think they should focus on earning more instead of wasting time. Respect is damaged either way. Financial privacy protects your respect. Some people share their income publicly to feel important. Others share their struggles to gain sympathy. But neither brings long-term peace. Importance gained by talking about wealth is temporary and fragile. The world will admire you today and envy you tomorrow. Sympathy gained by talking about difficulty is unhealthy and draining. The world will comfort you today and gossip about you tomorrow. The wise do not reveal anything unnecessarily, not wealth, not lack. They keep their dignity through silence. Even within families, financial sharing needs maturity. Not everyone inside a home understands money equally. Transparency is not the same as broadcasting. There are certain people who genuinely need to know, and they should. But financial matters do not need to travel into every room, every relative, every cousin, every social circle. Money is a tool, not a social announcement. In old age especially, what you shared earlier becomes the source of conversation and gossip. People speak about who has more, who has less, who saved, who wasted, who invested wisely, who struggled. Families break over inheritance, siblings become strangers, cousins become enemies, all because financial matters became public matters. Silence today protects relationships tomorrow. There is also security. If strangers or distant acquaintances know too much about your finances, it may attract unnecessary risks. Psalm. Times even friends, without bad intentions, share your financial details with their friends, and then information spreads to people who should never know. The more people know, the fewer boundaries exist. Privacy is a protective shield, but the most important aspect is peace of mind. The moment you share your finances openly, you invite people into your emotional world. People will talk, advise, compare, question, criticize. And if you are not mentally prepared to handle all that noise, you lose your inner peace. Silence around money is silence around your peace. Money itself is not the problem. Talking unnecessarily about it is. Wealth should not make us arrogant, and financial struggle should not make us ashamed. Both humility and dignity should remain intact. When you do not broadcast your financial life, you are not hiding, you are preserving your mental balance, your relationships, and your respect. The wise do not show off, and the wise do not complain openly. They handle finances with calmness, maturity, and confidentiality. And when that wisdom is cultivated early, your old age becomes peaceful. Because relationships remain protected, minds remain clear, and hearts remain free from unnecessary illusions. Silence around money is not weakness, it is strength that keeps dignity safe. There are moments in life when we feel emotionally heavy, burdened by past experiences, confused by our own thoughts, or shaken by something personal. In those moments, we naturally look for someone to talk to. Sharing reduces emotional weight, that is true. But the wisdom lies in choosing the right person to share it with. Not everyone who listens to you deserves to know your deepest truth. Many times we share our secrets in weakness, and the same secret becomes a weapon in someone else's hands when we are not looking. People often mistake ears for hearts. Just because someone listens does not mean they care. Just because someone nods does not mean they understand. Just because someone is silent while you speak does not mean they will remain silent afterwards. Trust is not about who is close to you physically, but who holds your respect emotionally. You can sit inches away from someone and still feel unsafe, and you can be miles apart from someone who guards your dignity more than people around you. A personal secret is like your soul's fingerprint. It identifies who you are, it reveals what you feel, it exposes what you fear, and it reflects what you experienced. And because of that, sharing your secret with someone who cannot protect it is not emotional honesty. It is emotional vulnerability without wisdom. Some people store secrets not in their hearts, but in their minds, waiting for the right chance to repeat them, distort them, or use them. And you cannot expect loyalty from someone who enjoys gossip, because gossip is a habit, not a reaction. One of the mistakes people make is sharing secrets when emotions are high. In pain, we reveal too much. In anger, we speak more than we should. In loneliness, we trust quickly. In excitement, we lose judgment. The problem is not that the emotion is wrong, the timing is wrong. We open our hearts when we should protect them, and then regret follows. Many times, people who hear your secret are not interested in comforting you, they are interested in collecting emotional information. They don't want to support you, they want to possess what you reveal. A secret shared with an untrustworthy person does not remain a secret. It travels, it changes, it grows. It becomes a story, then a rumor, then a narrative you can no longer control. And the saddest part is, many times, those who repeat your secrets do not even understand the pain behind them. They enjoy the drama, not the depth. They care about tea, a story, not the person. When you trust the wrong listener, you are not just risking embarrassment, you are risking relationships. The words you speak can travel to people you love, affecting how they see you, how they treat you, or how they understand you. Sometimes a person who knows your secret might not directly betray you, but their loose conversation with someone else can unintentionally reveal what you tried to keep private. And when you hear your own story spoken by others, you feel broken, not because they repeated it, but because you trusted the wrong heart. There is a dignity in privacy. Keeping certain things to yourself does not make you secretive. It makes you emotionally responsible. Not everything needs to be said. Not everything needs to be explained. Not everything needs to be shared. Some experiences are not meant for the public. They are meant for your growth. Some wounds are not meant for exposure. They are meant for healing. The most powerful people are not those who reveal everything they feel, but those who select what to reveal, when to reveal, and to whom. Sometimes people argue, but I needed someone to talk to. Yes, absolutely, we all do. Humans are emotional beings, silence can be suffocating. But the right listener matters. A trustworthy listener is someone who holds your words, the way one protects a flame from the wind, carefully, gently, respectfully. Their presence feels safe, their silence feels comforting, and their mind does not twist your truth into entertainment. They guide, they support, they understand. But such people are rare. Untrustworthy people are easy to find, trustworthy ones are few. The wisdom is not in closing your heart forever. The wisdom is in opening it selectively. A lesson learned late is protect yourself early. If someone has proven before that they talk about others, they will talk about you. If someone laughs at someone else's pain, they will laugh at yours. If someone repeats someone else's secret, your secret will travel too. Sometimes we must remind ourselves, privacy is not loneliness. Silence is not emotional weakness. It is strength, it is maturity, it is self-respect. Because not every page of your life deserves to be read by every eye. Not every thought in your mind deserves to be echoed by every ear. Not every chapter of your story deserves to be told outside. Your secrets are a part of your identity, and identity must be protected. Sharing them with the wrong people does not give you freedom, it steals your peace. So guard your heart. Choose your listeners and remember that silence is not hiding. Silence is wisdom wrapped in dignity. There is a silent mistake many people make without realizing it. They reveal their weaknesses to people who cannot guide, support, or uplift them. They expose their vulnerabilities, their fears, their confusions, and their emotional wounds to ears that will never help heal them. And then later, they wonder why they feel worse, not better. Sharing weakness is not wrong. In fact, every human has weaknesses. What matters is where you place them, who holds them, and whether the ones who hear them can offer wisdom or protection. When we share weaknesses with someone who cannot help, we are not seeking strength, we are simply scattering our insecurity across places where it can grow, spread, and become heavier. Human nature seeks empathy, comfort, and reassurance, especially when we feel low. But not every listener is equipped to comfort. Some people will misunderstand you. Some will judge you. Some will magnify your weakness. Some will feel superior because they know something about you. Some will repeat your weakness to others as gossip or drama. And some will simply not care. The truth is, not everyone has the emotional maturity to handle someone's vulnerability. When a person who lacks depth hears your weaknesses, they do not become supportive. They become curious or amused or indifferent. There are times when sharing your struggle with the wrong person leaves you feeling smaller. You walk away feeling exposed, not relieved. You start second-guessing yourself, doubting yourself, shrinking emotionally. Weakness should not be shared in places that drain you. Weakness should be shared only in places that strengthen you. Otherwise, you are feeding the very insecurity you want to overcome. Imagine telling your fears to someone who laughs, telling your doubts to someone who criticizes, telling your insecurities to someone who uses them against you later. It is like handing your heart to someone who does not know how to hold it gently. Some people are naturally emotional. In moments of stress, they open up to anyone available. Whoever is nearby, whoever is online, whoever picks up the phone, whoever sits next to them. But just because someone is present does not mean they are capable. Presence does not equal wisdom. Availability does not equal suitability. Proximity does not equal trust. When your weakness is shared without selective judgment, you create spaces where you lose your dignity without gaining any solution. There are also people who feel that expressing their weakness will make them feel understood. But the understanding they seek cannot come from someone who does not know how to handle emotional truth. A wise listener will absorb what you say, not broadcast it. They will help you reflect, not exaggerate the problem. They will give you clarity, not confusion. But in contrast, a listener without capacity turns your weakness into emotional noise, something they hold carelessly, something they may twist, something they may misuse. Your weakness is a part of your inner journey. It deserves reflection, guidance, patience, and growth. It needs to be handled by someone who can offer perspective, someone who has knowledge, experience, or compassion. When you share weakness with someone who cannot help, they cannot heal you because they do not understand the depth of what you are going through. They cannot guide you because they themselves are lost. They cannot comfort you because they do not know what comfort truly means. They cannot protect you because they do not even know how to protect their own emotions. There are moments when your weakness needs silence more than speech. Silence is not suppression, it is processing. Silence is your inner strength gathering clarity. Weakness shared with the wrong person becomes noise, but weakness handled within yourself becomes growth. The wisest people are not those who never feel weak, but those who present weakness only to sources of wisdom, not circles of confusion. Sometimes sharing with the wrong person makes you feel like you are begging for understanding. You try to explain yourself. You try to justify. You try to make them see your pain. But they cannot see because they lack capacity. And this leads to even deeper emotional exhaustion. Instead of healing, you end up feeling misunderstood. Instead of rising, you sink emotionally. Every weakness has a solution, but the solution rarely comes from those who cannot help. Real strength comes from careful vulnerability. Vulnerability shared with the right person at the right time for the right purpose. And sometimes that right person is not a friend, not a relative, not a colleague. It might be someone neutral, someone wise, someone who guides without judgment. And sometimes the right person is the quiet version of yourself, the part of you that thinks, reflects, learns, and grows. People confuse openness with wisdom. But wisdom is not about revealing everything. Wisdom is about revealing where it heals, not where it harms. Protecting your weakness is not arrogance. It is emotional maturity. It is respect for your own journey. Not everyone deserves access to your vulnerability. Your weakness should not be a conversation for entertainment. It should be a moment for growth. When we choose silence where silence is needed and choose expression where support exists, we transform weakness into strength, and that strength protects dignity, protects relationships, and protects peace. There is something very sacred about dreams. Dreams are not just plans written on paper, they are pieces of your heart, hopes of your future, and seeds of your potential. They are deeply connected to who you are becoming. Every dream you carry is like a small flame of light within you. Some people will protect that flame, help it grow, shelter it from the wind, but others will try to blow it out, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. That is why sharing your dreams with negative minds is one of the easiest ways to damage them. Negative minds often respond before they understand. They criticize before they think. They judge before they explore. And worst of all, They make you doubt what you once believed so strongly. A dream dies not when circumstances stop it, but when a person loses the belief to pursue it. And disbelief is often planted by the wrong people. When you share a dream with someone whose thinking is limited, their responses come from their limitations, not your possibilities. They see things through the lens of their fears, failures, insecurities, and doubts. If they have never achieved something significant, they convince you that you cannot either. If they failed, they assume you will. If they never tried, they assume it cannot be done. They do not challenge you with wisdom, they drag you down with discouragement. And slowly, those voices become internal voices and you start questioning yourself. Negative minds cannot see what you see because dreams do not belong in the eyes, they belong in the spirit. When you share a dream with someone who cannot see beyond the present moment, they will blind your vision. They cannot understand passion, they only understand routine. They cannot understand courage, they only understand comfort. They cannot understand growth, they only understand survival. And when you try explaining your dream to such a person, you end up defending it instead of building it. Dreams need protection, dreams need nurturing, dreams need belief. When you expose dreams to negative minds, you expose them to doubt, fear, and criticism. Some dreams are destroyed not by failure but by conversation, the wrong kind of conversation. Even one negative sentence at the wrong time can break your confidence. And once confidence cracks, even a strong dream becomes weak. The saddest part is that negative minds are often disguised as friendly voices. They may appear caring, practical, or realistic. They may say, "I only want what's best F," or "you." But what they really want is for you to stay within their level. They fear your growth because your growth reminds them of their stagnation. Not everyone who knows you is qualified to guide you. Not everyone close to you is capable of supporting you. Some people will intentionally discourage you, others will unintentionally do it. But the effect is the same. Your inner fire loses oxygen. There is also the emotional impact. When you present your dream to someone who cannot appreciate your potential, they mock it, they minimize it, or they call it unrealistic. That hurts, it discourages. That emotional pain sometimes becomes heavier than the challenges of achieving the dream itself. And if a dream makes you feel small instead of inspired, you begin shrinking instead of growing. That is the danger of the wrong audience. Dreams are like delicate plants. In the beginning they are fragile, they are sensitive, they need a good environment. And when they are still in seed form, they should not be placed in harsh soil. If you expose a seed to rocks and concrete, it will never grow. Similarly, exposing a dream to negative minds stops growth before it even begins. The right environment matters, encouragement matters, surrounding matters. There is also a deeper reality. Negative minds do not see possibilities, they see problems. The moment you talk about a dream, they will list every obstacle, every risk, every reason why it won't work. Instead of asking how it can be done, they ask why you think you can do it. And when you listen to them, you start shrinking the size of your dream to fit inside the size of their thinking. A dream must be shared at the right time with the right people, people who inspire you, people who push you, people who have the heart to listen and the ability to encourage. But until that time comes, silence is not secrecy, silence is protect. Silence gives your dream time to grow its roots. Silence gives you time to build the confidence, skill, and strength to stand firmly. Silence protects the flame until it becomes strong enough not to be blown out. There is wisdom in knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet. A dream shared with the wrong mind loses life. A dream protected within the right heart grows life. The purpose of silence is not hiding, it is nurturing. Your dream does not need approval, it needs belief. Your dream does not need applause, it needs discipline. Your dream does not need everyone's opinion, it needs your commitment. So guard your dreams with wisdom. Protect them like something precious, because they are. Not every eye deserves to see them, and not every ear deserves to hear them. When you choose silence with the wrong audience, you choose growth. When you choose belief over external approval, you choose purpose. And one day, when your dream becomes reality, you will realize the value of protecting it early and nurturing it wisely. When we give, whether it is money, time, effort, support, or even a small act of kindness, something beautiful happens within us. Charity is not just about helping someone, it is about elevating our own soul. It softens the heart, purifies the intention, and brings peace to the mind. But the moment we start sharing our charitable deeds openly, something shifts. The energy of the act changes. What was once pure becomes mixed with ego. What was once sacred becomes a public display, and what was once a quiet offering becomes a conversation piece. Charity loses its spiritual fragrance when we use it to impress others. There is a quiet dignity in kindness done silently. A silent good deed is like a seed planted deep in the soil. No one sees it, but one day it grows into something meaningful, something beautiful. When you help someone quietly, that person remembers it with gratitude, and life remembers it with blessings. But when you announce what you did, approval starts mattering more than compassion. The attention becomes more valuable than the intention, and gradually the act is no longer about helping, it becomes about showing. People sometimes share their charity because they feel proud, and feeling proud of doing good is natural. But there is a difference between feeling proud within the heart and trying to make others notice. One enriches the spirit, the other feeds the ego. When charity becomes a performance, it loses the inner purity that makes it powerful. Charity is about making someone feel valued, not making ourselves look valuable. The deeper truth is that charity is not just about what we give, it's about how we give. An act of generosity loses its meaning when it becomes a topic of discussion. Respect is lost when generosity becomes self-promotion. The world might appreciate you for a moment, but appreciation from others is temporary. On the other hand, silent giving creates peace, joy, and inner satisfaction that no public praise can replace. When we share charitable deeds openly, we unintentionally create expectations. People begin to see us through the lens of what we give, not who we are. Some may expect more, some may compare, some may even doubt our sincerity, thinking we do it for applause. What was once a pure act of heart suddenly becomes a topic of debate, and purity gets diluted. Giving is supposed to free the heart, not complicate relationships. There is also a social angle. When someone shares their charity in front of others, it can unintentionally make people feel less, especially those who have not been able to help in the same way. Charity is not a competition, but when it becomes public, people start judging, comparing, questioning. Instead of creating unity, it creates separation. Kindness was meant to connect hearts, not divide them. The most meaningful acts of kindness are often unseen. The biggest transformations happen quietly. The world recognizes public acts, but life recognizes silent ones. When you help someone without announcing it, you protect their dignity and your own. You save them from embarrassment, and you save yourself from arrogance. There is a sacred relationship between giver and receiver, and exposing that relationship takes away its sacredness. Some people share their charity because they want to inspire others. Their intention may be good, but even then, if the inspiration comes with self-praise, the message is lost. True inspiration happens when people see the kindness without seeing the ego. Real role models are those who lead through action, not those who advertise their action. When we help someone secretly, even the person we help feels respected. They know it was done out of genuine care, not for publicity. They cherish that kindness deeply. The world might not know, but their heart knows. And in life, the gratitude of one soul is more valuable than the applause of 1,000 voices. There is also spiritual wisdom in silent generosity. What is done silently is remembered by life. What is done publicly is remembered by people. And people forget easily. Life never forgets. The universe works in quiet ways. Blessings come silently to those who give silently. Peace comes silently to those who help silently. Joy comes silently to those who serve silently. Charity does not need a loud voice. It needs a soft heart. It does not require attention. It requires sincerity. The silence of kindness is more powerful than the noise of recognition. When you keep your kindness private, you are giving not only to others but also to yourself, the gift of humility, purity, and inner harmony. In old age especially, the memories that bring comfort are not the ones people applauded, but the little moments when you lifted someone's burden, gave someone strength, wiped someone's tears, or brought someone hope, and you did it without expecting anything in return. Those silent memories become your true wealth. So let charity remain pure. Let kindness remain sacred. Let your good deeds live in silence, because silence protects their soul. And one day when your heart looks back, it will not regret staying quiet. It will feel grateful that you gave with love, not with announcement. You said, expand 7, make it lengthy. In 800 words. Don't add further key points. Don't add headings. ChatGPT said bar. Here is the expanded point 7 in around 800 words, written in a Gaur Gopal Das inspired tone, calm, wise, and uplifting, without headings and without adding any extra key points beyond expansion of point 7 br. In life, as we enter our later years, there is one truth that becomes clearer than ever: the peace of our heart is priceless. And peace is deeply connected to what we allow into our mind and what we choose to let go. When we grow older, we have seen enough, faced enough, and understood enough to realize that not everything deserves our reaction, not every comment deserves our energy, and not every person deserves an explanation. Seventh lesson is simple but powerful. Keep your inner peace guarded and don't share it with people or situations who are determined to disturb it. See, when we're young, we fight, we argue, we prove ourselves, we debate endlessly. But when we mature, we discover that silence is not weakness, silence is strength. We stop reacting not because we can't, but because we don't need to. We don't shout to prove we're right. We stay silent because we know the truth holds its own power. Inner peace is not about winning arguments. It's about knowing which battles are not worth fighting at all. People will misunderstand you. Some may criticize you. Some will try to provoke you, test your patience, or judge your choices. But the most intelligent response is often no response. Because when you respond to negativity, you fuel it. When you ignore it, you starve it. Why waste your precious energy on something that brings no benefit to your life? In old age, you realize that your energy should be spent on what nourishes your soul, not what drains it. Imagine you are holding a delicate flower. You protect it from harsh winds, from dust, from people who might crush it. That flower is your peace, and it deserves protection. Many older people have said these words in wisdom. When I was young, I wasted time trying to explain myself. Now I smile and let people think what they want. This wisdom comes not from defeat but from matured understanding. When we guard our peace, we also create better relationships. Why? Because many relationships fail due to unnecessary ego battles, pointless arguments, and the desire to control or prove superiority. But peace teaches us acceptance. It teaches us to walk away from arguments that harm more than help. It teaches us to listen quietly when someone is venting instead of firing back. It teaches us to respond with kindness even when the world is throwing stones. And let me tell you a secret: inner peace is contagious. When you remain calm, others around you feel calm. When you speak kindly, others soften. When you choose silence in anger, arguments dissolve. You don't preach peace, you radiate it through your behavior. One wise person once said, if you can stay calm when everyone else is losing their mind, you have already won. Victory in life is not about defeating others. It is about mastering yourself. We spend so much of our life protecting our house, our money, our reputation. But the most precious treasure is our peace, which often goes unprotected. In old age, you realize that loud voices don't build happiness. Peaceful hearts do.